Coming up next, what are recruiters looking for in 2021? And lyrics that I love that will encourage you. Plus, we'll take your calls and your chats. And it all starts right now. I am coming to you live from Ramsey Solutions Studios in Nashville, and you are joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do it, and how you can get there. That's right. We're talking about your purpose, and your purpose is connected to your work. You were created to work. Now, we're not talking about being a workaholic. What we're saying is that you were created to contribute. And so you've got 3 gifts. I just bucket your gifts into 3 categories. What you do best, that's your hard skills, soft skills. That's talent. The next bucket is work that you love to do. You have high emotion when you think about this work, when you're engaged in the work, and high devotion. You love doing the work. You're always in. Whether you're feeling great or not, you love the work itself just for the work. And then the third bucket are the results of that work that you love that you most want to create, results that make your heart swell and sing. That's mission. So you use what you do best, talent, to do work you love, passion, to produce results that matter, mission. And so when you figure out those 3 and how they align, they point like an arrow to your sweet spot, your contribution zone. And that's when Mondays are pretty awesome. You don't live for the weekend anymore. You look forward to the weekend because you've given everything you can give. And you need time to refresh, to recreate yourself for that next Monday. So this is the journey that we all long for. And for some, it's a myth. They're not even sure if it's true or not. For some, they believe it's true, but it's like a long, far away off mountain that's impossible to climb. And I'm telling you, it's not. I'm your coach. I'm your counselor. I'm your cheerleader, whatever you need. This conversation matters deeply. You know it. And you have the answers. It's my job to help you see them, put them together, and get going. So shall we do that? 844-747-2577. That's the phone number. You can jump in right now. Phone lines are open. I'm looking at the screen. We got open lines. That means today could be your day. You've been watching the show, nervous about calling in. I get it. I'm going to take really good care of you. You are not a prop for me to entertain people on YouTube. You are somebody that I deeply care about and I want to help. 844-747-2577. You can also send your question in via chat. It'll come. We take about 2 or 3 of those, depending on the show, and it comes right here to the laptop. And then you can also email the show, ask@kencoleman.com. You can also engage with me on Instagram @KenColeman, and the website is kencoleman.com. So let's go. Now, I want to talk about recruiting for a moment because I talk a lot about the proximity principle, which is all about the right people in the right places, and that's how you get opportunities. And even though I wrote about 5 specific archetypes in my #1 best-selling book, The Proximity Principle, the proven plan that will lead to the career you love, I didn't mention recruiters in there, but they would be falling under the category of producers in that book. And so people ask you all the time, Ken, how do you feel about recruiters? I feel great about them. My wife's a recruiter. Okay? They're game changers, the really good ones. The right companies, the right recruiter who don't just see you as an asset, but really work with you and understand what you want, and they help find that, and then they help you win the game by getting you the interview and really padding your stats, setting you up beautifully before the interview. So recruiting is a great, great option for you. I would add it to your web of connections. Don't put all of your eggs in the recruiting basket, but certainly it can be a game changer, and I highly recommend it. Now, so to that end, some great data here that will help you think about the landscape if you're going to use a recruiter, and then what they're hearing as they talk to executives, because they are working with companies all the time. So, top 5 recruiting priorities in the next 12 months, according to JobVite. JobVite did a survey, and here's what we're hearing. The fact that recruiters are struggling with a shortage of qualified candidates, particularly those who can help with business recovery efforts, makes this really important. And the data shows, according to Jeffrey Roars, Chief Marketing Officer of JobVite, that the shifts I'm about to share with you, because of 2020 and COVID, has changed the landscape for hiring, that these are going to stay. Okay. So here's what companies are saying to recruiters. Here's what we need. They want to improve the quality of the hire. They want to increase the retention rate. Now, again, these are companies and they're telling recruiters this. Hey, this is super important. We've got to do better with the quality of our hire. So they're going to be pickier. They want better candidates, stronger candidates, not just somebody who can do the job, somebody who could come in and rock it. Number 2, increasing the retention rate. So not just getting the right person in, but keeping them there. Improving the time to hire. So they want to hire, they want to make it more efficient. They want to get people in right now. And then they want to grow their talent pipeline. And then they're looking for diversity. Now, I share those with you because for you, the person who's looking to maybe engage with a recruiter, you need to have that in mind. So give them the evidence that you are, in fact, somebody, let's just look through these things, that you're not just a good fit, you're a great fit. And you start talking about the sweet spot. So remember, folks, you've been engaged in the Ken Coleman Show long enough to know, for some of you, that, we're looking at the sweet spot, talent, passion, mission, all of them coming together. But most leaders and companies are just thinking talent. So if you could show them that, hey, yes, I'm talented enough to do the job. And in fact, I'm a great talent fit, but I love the work and I am deeply motivated by the results that this work creates. That separates you from other candidates. So that's why I'm sharing this with you. You've got to feed that to recruiters. And even if you're not using a recruiter, when you go into interviews, you've got to use this language that I give you folks every day. And when you describe it as simply as I give it to you, people get that and they go, what a great candidate. This is fantastic. So understand that. And then the retention rate, same deal. You're going to be there a much longer time if this is a sweet spot gig for you. You're ready to go. Right now, you're ready to step because you're clear. So all of these things make you a really, really attractive candidate. Let me go through the fourth one, growing the talent pipeline. When a company hires somebody like you and they go, oh my gosh, what an incredible candidate, they're going, you can help me find other people like that. We do that at Ramsey Solutions. We have heavy cash incentives for you to go find other Eagles to bring them into Ramsey Solutions. So that's huge. And then again, people are looking for diversity, which is a good thing. So, no shame in your game. Okay? Step up, share the story. So really, really important stuff there. I wanted to share that with you. Better days are ahead with hiring. And I fully endorse if you want to work with a recruiter. But again, with a recruiter, not all of them speak this language. Like very few do. I want a partner, just like we got Bethel Tech that's training you to step right into the technology field. I want a partner that we can say, okay, we got a recruiting partner here and you can trust them and they're going to engage with you on the language that I use so that they're helping you stand out even more. So we're looking for that. We don't know who it is yet, but there you go. 844-747-2577, 844-747-2577. Let's go to Redding, California to start us off today. Antonio is there. Antonio, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken, how you doing?
I'm living the dream, sir. How can I help?
So, basically, I'm a full-time student, and I was told to apply for a job that basically offers in the field that I'm studying for. Mm-hmm. And I was wondering if it'd be a good, wise step to leave the job I'm at now to try to apply for there. And basically, they said that the training would be paid for and I'd also be paid while in training.
Wow, that sounds good to me. Doesn't it sound good to you?
Yeah. It's just like the main thing that's worrying with me is, like I said, I'm still going to school to get a degree also into that field that I'm working.
Yes.
I would be applying for.
Right. But guess what? If you apply for it, I thought you said you'd been offered. Is this true? I mean, what do you mean?
They're still reviewing my application. And basically it's a high demand job right now because a lot of basically people left once kind of the main COVID thing happened. Yeah. And
well, let me ask you this. Based on what you know about it so far, obviously it puts you in the field that you're in college to get into. Mm-hmm. So it feels like to me it's a fast forward button. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you excited about the work itself, even if it's entry level and it's not the dream job in that field you want to be in? But the fact of the matter is, are you excited about it because you see it as a ladder to where you want to go?
Yeah.
So is your question, Ken, should I step out of school to take this job because it's going to be you can't do both? Is that what the question is?
So the thing is, like, I'm worried that it's going to conflict with school, but then also, like, I have to leave my job that I'm at right now. That's been basically that I'm basically working at right now full time.
Who cares? Why? Help me understand. Why are you concerned about leaving the job you're in now that's not in your desired field to take a job in your desired field?
The only reason I was a little bit worried is the fact that, like, the job I'm at now, it's working with my school schedule.
Okay, I get it. Now I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you? Remind me again why you're in school and what you hope to happen because you've been in school.
The reason why I'm in school is because I'm trying to get basically a degree in administrative justice, and so basically to be more into law enforcement later. Okay,
and what is this job that you're applying for right now? What would it put you? Where would it put you in that area, that goal?
As a entry-level police officer.
And then what's the ladder look like? Climb the ladder for me. Take me 5-10 years down the line. What's the dream job?
Basically, still probably working, in the police department, but it's like once I'm in there, I know that I can be furthering in, more experience and, different training and,
so listen to me. Okay. So you're in school to get a job in the police force. And yet now you've been given an opportunity. Hopefully you win it, but there's no guarantees. You don't even have the offer yet. But let's say that they want to hire you. Give me one good reason why you would not take the job.
The only reason why I'm also hesitant about it is because I'm not sure. They're saying that they'll pay for while you're in training. But I've heard mixed things about it. Like they don't always pay basically new recruits as.
Who cares? Do you want to be a police officer or not? This makes no sense to me, bro. No sense. And I don't want to sound tough. I'm not being tough. I just don't. It's like you're trying to. You're creating a false narrative in your head, which is that, well, I'd have to quit school to actually get the job that I'm in school for. Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah. Well, no, I don't plan on quitting school.
That's my point. You can go part-time.
Yeah.
Listen to me, bro.
Okay.
Listen to me. Can I just be your older brother right now? That's why you called me. You want to know what I think, right?
Yeah.
Take the job. If they offer you the job, take the job and then finish your degree part-time, even if you have to pause it while doing the police officer training. You can come back and finish it, which would then probably further qualify you for a leadership role in the police department as you grow. But take the job. Get in. Then you can finish the education. And who cares if they don't pay you while they train you? That's just part of the deal. That's the ticket to the dance. I just would not turn it down.
I know. And it's just like I said, the hard thing also is because I'd have to, obviously, if I was to do the police academy, I'd be out of work for 6 months.
So what? Work a nighttime job.
Okay.
Deliver pizzas. Save some money right now. Sell some stuff. Do you want to be a police officer or not?
I do.
Then take the opportunity if they present it.
Okay.
You're not doing anything wrong. If you take this, you're in. I don't know what fears. I don't know if you're worried about what other people are saying to you, or other people are already saying things to you, and they're saying this is not smart. You need to finish the degree. Why? You can finish the degree later.
The thing I'm more worried about is just the finances. Making sure I can.
Well, first of all,
be able to pay for a mortgage and all that.
I understand, but you can work a nighttime job. You do whatever it takes for 6 months until the pay comes back, right?
Yeah. I'll do my best on that because it's delivering pizzas with the 2-year-old in the backseat is a
You got friends and family that can help out with the 2-year-old?
Not really. Well,
yes, you do.
I don't. Yeah.
Yes, you do.
It's like the main person that would have been able to watch, my daughter would have been my mom, and she actually passed away back in June. So
I'm sorry about that. But Antonio, I'm not going to back off of this thing. You will make excuses as to why you can't do this because of financial fears, as opposed to saying, what do I need to do financially to stay afloat? And first of all, you're basing this on something that doesn't exist right now. Number one, we don't have an offer. Number two, if they do offer you, you let off the phone call by saying that they're going to pay you. They're going to train you and pay you while you're getting trained. Then about 4 minutes in, you said, well, I've also heard that they may not do that. But again, I've heard there's a Loch Ness Monster. I don't have any proof that there's a Loch Ness Monster. Should I be scared of something I don't have proof of? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Listen, you can do this. I know you're a single dad. I know your mom's no longer with you, but there are other people who will step up if you ask for help. I think this is a massive mistake if they offer you this and you don't take it. Because you can just tell them, here's the deal. I'm a single dad. I'm going to stop school right now. I'll eventually come back, but I'm going to focus all on the training necessary. And if they decide not to pay you while you're getting trained, then you find a way. And there are multiple ways for you to do this. I will not ever allow somebody to say, well, there's not a way, when there is a way. There are multiple ways. Someone can help you watch your daughter, and you can work and do whatever it takes. You can save. Start busting it right now. Come up with a 3 to 6 month budget on what would have to be different for you to get through it. You can do it. I refuse to believe that you can't. I know you've got it. 844-747-2577. Jordan's up next in West Salem, Ohio. Jordan, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, how are you doing?
Jordan, I'm living the dream. What's going on?
Oh, not much. I just have a quick question here that I'm kind of in a mental pickle with. I have 2 job opportunities that have been presented with me, and I don't know which one to take.
Okay. Describe them. A and B. What's A?
A is work on a pipeline for the local state pipeline. Starting salary is about $18 an hour. They'll train me on driving a commercial truck and working equipment, and I'll be welding and working stuff with my hands there, and with the company's goal of putting me either in the lead operator position or future foreman position.
Okay, good.
That's A.
All
right. B is a local union position that's offering a little bit less money. It's like $14 to $16 an hour, but their insurance and retirement benefits are so much better than what the pipeline offers. The pipeline offers good insurance and benefits, but the union offers better. And I'm just the pros and cons in my head just kind of outweigh each other, and I'm just afraid to make the wrong choice.
Yeah, I get it. All right, which one are you leaning to right now? I'm going to tell you what I think. I think it's absolutely obvious and it's super clear, and I'm going to give you my evidence as to why I think that the option I'm going to tell you is the clearest one. But I want to know where you're at right now in this moment. Which one are you leaning towards?
As of right now, at this moment, I'm leaning more towards the pipeline.
Why?
Just because I've always been one of those I love to be depended on and look forward to, like, the person to call when stuff has gone astray to fix it.
Yep.
And so with the positions that they've presented in front of me, it kind of piques my interest to satisfy that role that I like.
Yes. Okay, I've heard enough. Are you ready for my verdict?
Yes.
All right. It's A, and it's not even close. Here's why.
Okay.
A, $18 an hour plus good benefits. That is $2 to $4 an hour more than the union job. They are also, not only are you going to be welding, they're going to be training you to operate heavy equipment, which makes you even more valuable in the future. Am I right about that?
Correct.
Yeah. And then also this training is going to lead to a ladder of you stepping into potentially being a foreman, a supervisor. Now let's look at B. it's a union and you're capped. Unions like to say, well, we're going to guarantee you money and guarantee pensions. And so they brandish that like that's what life's about. But there's no growth in the union. There's no growth. Very little growth. Too much politics. It's not about personal performance. It's about protection. Now, I'm going to just a quick commercial for everybody watching. It's not a political statement. So if you don't like what I'm saying about this, that's totally cool. But this isn't political, it's economical. Unions, when they first were developed and created, they were a good thing because things were out of whack for the American worker back in the day, the 20s and the 30s and that kind of time. And so unions, they kind of came out of that moment, but they became political and about protecting the power associated with unions, not just protecting the worker. But there's no growth. There's no opportunity. It's so political. So you're making less money with the union. And the only thing you're throwing in there, the benefits are a wash, but you're going, well, it's a great pension fund. Guess what? For the extra money you're going to make now and the extra money you're going to make in the future as you walk up the ladder and you work with a Ramsey Solutions SmartVestor Pro and invest your own money, you're going to be way better off than you ever were with the union pension. That's my case.
That makes a lot better sense of what was going on in my head.
Of course it does, because I'm objective. You're not. I can't be objective about me. I'd have to talk to somebody like you. I'd go, hey, let me get this out of my head. So I get it. But as I sit here and listen to it, it's not even close. Option A is about progress and purpose. You're doing work with your hands. You've got an opportunity to grow and do more work you love. And you're going to make way more money with option A. So please choose A for you, not for me.
Well, thank you for that. It's just, I've been listening to your show for months. I'm just like, I'm going to call him on
Thank
this
you.
one. I've been presented with both opportunities today. I'm just like, I know who to call.
You do. Thank you for calling. How does it feel?
It feels nerve-wracking, but I feel so much better.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Now you shouldn't be nerve-wracked. You should be like, okay, I've got clarity. Let's go.
I was leaning toward it, but I just kind of needed that extra.
What's the step?
Yeah, thinking right, and I'll do it.
Good. What's the next step? You've got an official offer and they're waiting to hear from you?
They've offered me the position. I signed the paperwork in December. I was supposed to start a couple months ago, but due to the whole COVID shutdown and everything else, that they wanted to postpone it so that they didn't have to lay me off. So I'm starting January.
Okay. So you've already accepted it. You were just considering whether or not you tell them, no, I've changed my mind, I'm going union.
Correct.
Okay, great. Yeah, don't do that. Tell the union people today. In fact, I would like for you to tell them no within 5 minutes of you hanging up on this phone call. Move now.
I will do that as soon as I hang up.
That's what I want to know. That is what I wanted to know. Folks, here's the deal. When we make a decision, move on it. Because here's what I know to be true. If you go to a motivational event, some leadership conference or some conference, or you listen to a podcast or you call into the show and you get things clear and I'm pushing you and going, yay, go, because that's where we want to be at the end of every call, right? We want some action step for everybody who calls into the program. You take action. Well, you can kind of be in that moment of, here I am in your, I'm kind of in your business and we're working together and I'm going, go, 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 go. And you hang up the phone and then this happens, you get this phone call and an email happens and kind of that euphoria or that juice wears off and then your brain starts going psst and tries to talk you out of it again. That's why when you're clear, act. Don't wait. I hope he's on the phone right now. In fact, is he still on the phone? Tell him to get off the phone right now and call those people at the union and say, no, right now. I want to see that. See, here's what's happening. I wish people could see the screen, but I've got this giant screen in front of me and it shows people online. And tell Jordan I said he needs to hang up right now. He's still on hold because Jordan, hang up right now. See, I put him on hold in here, a little back behind the scenes. And there he goes. He hung up. That's good. See, he's got to act right now. Because here's what happens, a little behind the scenes to explain that to people. Once I put you on hold, because I'm ready to go to the next thing in the show or the next caller, people can still hang on the line and they hear me talking, but they can't talk back to me. And so I was telling Jordan, he was still on hold. I could see. And I was looking at Madison. I was about ready to get upset with her. I thought maybe she was, chatty Cathy over there. And I was like, no, this guy needs to get off the phone right now. He needs to hang up and he needs to call the union and tell them no. So he did. That's very exciting. All right. So here we go. Let's go to the chat room. Jonathan writes in, how do I ask for a raise? I have exceeded expectations on my reviews for the past few years. I'm a top performer, but my boss won't give raises beyond the minimum annual raise of a few cents. Well, see, this is one where I wish you would call the show, Jonathan, because my advice, it might be a little bit different if I knew some of the nuances here. And the nuances I'm referring to is you say your boss won't give raises beyond the minimum annual raise. So that tells me there's a track record of either denying raise requests or just simply there's some sort of policy or unwritten, unsaid rule around the office for you to say that. So that's an uphill battle that's very, very difficult to just go in and go, hey, I'd like a raise. I've been a top performer. So I don't know the nuances here. So I'm just going to give you my standard advice when somebody says, Ken, how do I ask for a raise? Number one, don't ask for a raise. Number two, ask for a growth plan. So at Ramsey Solutions, everybody has an annual review based on your anniversary when you started. And so you sit down, you look at your key responsibility areas, and you go through feedback and all kinds of things. When I say that you need to ask for a growth plan, not ask for a raise, it simply means you go in and you say, hey, I would love for you to give me a review on what I've been doing so far based on the expectations that have been communicated to me. How am I doing on my overall performance? Then you would ask for them to identify maybe some skills that you can sharpen. This is a positive growth thing. What are some skills you can sharpen or add to make you more valuable? So they see you going, I want to be more valuable. That's essentially what you're saying to them, but you're asking them for input and feedback. So it gives them engagement. Okay. Then you want to say, based on those answers, okay, is that something the company would pay for or I'll pay for? That's fine. You come up with a real plan. Okay, I'm going to go do these things. I'm going to sharpen or add skills. Then you say, hey, I would like to increase my responsibilities, my influence. I want to do more. I want to be challenged to do more, add more value to the company. Again, it shows hunger and even humility because you've not talked about money at all. And then you say, hey, I'd like to come up with a plan for what growth looks like for me. More influence, more responsibility. And then obviously with that and then what are the measurements? And then we talk money. You say, based on this growth plan, I would love to see what the financial growth could look like based on the measuring of my growth. That is a more holistic way of getting to the same thing that you're looking for, which is increased compensation. It also, the way you do it that way, it allows that leader a little bit more breathing room to engage in the conversation, maybe set up a separate meeting where they've got input and they don't feel like they're being put in a corner of yes or no, I want a raise. Because that puts a leader in a situation where they're kind of like, okay, let's talk about a growth plan. Okay. The other thing that's going to do for you is if you do it the way I just laid that out with a spirit of gratitude and humility, that's the key, then you're going to find out if you're in a really healthy organization or if you're working for a healthy leader. Because if they don't respond positively to that, there's bigger issues. And that's your sign it's time to look elsewhere. Nick writes in, what is the best way to address the hiring objection to being overqualified? Yeah, let me tell you what that is. I think overqualified is like the most overused, tired, dishonest breakup line in corporate America. It's the breakup line. And somewhere along the line, this became part of the lexicon in the hiring world. And everybody has used it, or at least has heard it. And I think it's a bunch of garbage. So I'm going to tell you how to combat this. If, in fact, that when somebody says to you, you're overqualified, if they're using that truthfully And I'm going to explain that in just a second. Then there's a way to combat that. But if they're using it like I believe most hiring managers and leaders use it, it's all garbage and it's a lie. And they're just saying it that way to let you down easy. We can't hire you because you're overqualified. You're too good for us. Have you ever heard anybody say that? That meant it? No, they don't mean that. They can't possibly say, well, you're just too talented for this position. Think about that for a second, folks. I really want to have some fun with this today. Let me just think about that. Hey, Nathan, listen, great interview. Everything went great. And boy, you've got a lot of experience in video directing. You've got experience with lighting, great with sound, but Nathan, just wonderful. But the problem is you're just too good. You are too good for this position. We cannot hire you. Now, when it's said that way, it sounds ludicrous, but that's what they're saying. All right, so now I've exposed that I think it's a bunch of crap, and it's designed to be it was the effective, it's like the girl who broke up with me in college. I've told the story before. She's weeping, couldn't barely talk as she breaks up with me. I'm over there going, why are you crying? You're breaking up with me. You're devastated right now. It's not you, it's me. That's what that line is, folks. All right, now, let's take the situation where there's a bit of truth in it. They're still using the phrase incorrectly, but they're not being dishonest. Let me explain. There are times where someone will say you're overqualified, and what they're saying is the position that you are applying for is not going to pay you what you want to make. That's what they're saying. So in that situation, you got to go, if you're talking about compensation, I understand I may have a track record, I've made this, but in this season of life, I'm getting in. I want to break in and move up the ladder. I'm willing to do it for what you're willing to pay. You've got to quickly say that, because a lot of times they're just simply going, in the past, you've made this amount of money, and this position, we can't pay what you are asking for. And at that point, you've got to say, all right, I'm willing to take a pay cut if you are willing to get in. That's the scenario there. So I know that's a big analysis of that, but those really are the two factors. So again, Nick, if they're saying you're overqualified, is it because your compensation, what you've made in the past or what you said you wanted, is off fairly significantly to where they feel like, well, Nick's not going to take this. So we'll say, well, you're overqualified, meaning that this position doesn't pay what you are wanting to make. So they're not doubting your credentials, obviously, but it's not a fake compliment either. So that's the thing there. That's what I want you to pay attention to. Okay. I want to switch screens here because I want to do something different today. And I hope this helps somebody. I'll stay here on this camera, Nathan. I like this close-up shot here because I want to look into people's eyes a little bit. So doing some new stuff for social media. We're going to be launching this new idea. It's called Lyrics That I Love. So this is the segment today. It's called Lyrics That I Love. And let me give you a quick context of why I think this is so important. So I'm a guy that believes in playlists. Now, everybody watching probably has a playlist or 2 or 3 or 10 or 20. But I believe in music playlists to get you in the mental state that you need to be in, or to get you out of a state that you don't want to be in. And so I'm a big believer in that. So I've got a playlist that I listen to before I ever do a talk on a live stage. And I'll get quiet somewhere. I'll get somewhere off the stage or in some other room when nobody's around. And I got a playlist. And it just gets me fired up. Like I'm just ready to bust through the wall. I've got playlists for when I want to be contemplative and thoughtful and really do some searching and some deep thinking on things. I've got music for that. I've got music when, it's just been a long, hard, tired day. And before I go into my house, I want to be up for my wife and kids. And so I got some music to get me up. Okay, so you get the idea. So I was looking through some stuff today, and I'm categorizing all these songs based on my playlist and looking at lyrics that I really love. It's not just the beat, or the melody. It's really the lyrics. So here we go. Today, I'm going to read just a bit of one of my favorite songs, Rise Up by Andra Day. And it's called Rise Up. So here we go. I'm going to read it to you because it's essentially a poem without the music. And somebody needs to hear this today. Some of you are broken down. Some of you are tired. Some of you feel beat up. Some of you feel like, hey, it'd be nice just to stay down for a while. I don't know if I've got any more fight or rise up in me. Listen to these lyrics. You're broken down and tired of living life on the merry-go-round. And if you can't find the fighter, but I see it in you, so we gonna walk it out and move mountains. We gonna walk it out and move mountains. And I'll rise up. I'll rise like the day. I'll rise up. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up. And I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up high like the waves. I'll rise up. In spite of the ache, I'll rise up. And I'll do it 1,000 times again. I love those lyrics, but I also want you to hear me say that I'll walk it out with you. If you're watching today, whether it be live or later, and you feel like you can't get up, I want you to know that I'm extending my hand, my arm to you. I'll walk it out with you. I've been there. I know what it feels like to lay awake at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning and feel as though you have wasted your life. I know what that feels like. I also know what it feels like to begin the little teeny tiny steps, to step into fear and anxiety to the point where you feel as though you're having an out-of-body experience. What am I doing here? I'm such an imposter. I'm going to be found out and humiliated. I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to be told that you don't have the talent to do the job that you know you have the talent to do. I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to be gripped by my own doubt, to go from extremely confident to having no belief in myself within seconds. I know what that feels like. But I also know what it feels like to put myself out there, bracing for the sting of rejection yet again, and to have somebody say, good job, you can do this. I think you've got a bright future. I know what that feels like too. And so if you need to borrow some of my belief, borrow some of my story, borrow some of the things that I've learned, that's why I do the show. But I want you to know, as the song says, we're going to walk it out. Everything's going to be all right, and we'll walk it out together. Day in, day out. Whether it's a phone call, whether it's a book, whether it's a webinar, whether it's a resource on my website, we're going to walk it out. I'm here with you. Don't you dare quit. And if you can't rise up on your own, call out to somebody who'll give you that hand, that arm. Maybe if it's 2 hands, 2 arms, and pick you up and pull you up and stand you upright. Because the world needs you. So rise up. Well, that is going to do it for my time today. But I want you to know that you matter and you do have what it takes. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.